Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L coming in to do a quick roundup video for, oh geez, The Day I Became God? I think that's the official English title. Yeah, The Day I Became God. Anyway, this one is by the people that did Angel Beats. I love it. It's one of my favorite series right now. It's the number one series I look forward to week by week right now. And then Elena Wandering, which is a close second. But yeah, no, I really look forward to it. We got 3 episodes that I'm very excited to talk about because there are some cool shenanigans going on. And you know, just to very quickly get it out there, because you all might also be following me with the other videos, you know that I'm also probably doing Mahoka and Danmachi. It's not so much that I'm not excited for those two. Like Danmachi, I already know what's going to happen most of the time because of the novels, and then Mahoka is Mahoka. I know I can always go to the novels if I really need to. The birds also like The Day I Became God. Anyway, they became God. The reason it has my attention is because, again, I love whatever Key does. At the beginning, mostly Angel Beats. I like whatever they do, and I like seeing what's going to happen. And in terms of this one's pretty interesting. Now, there are still some things I am legitimately concerned about, and I'm going to give a very quick shout out to Master Gray for showing me some tweets and interviews with one of the key people on the production. It does seem, when it comes to a key anime, we do have to actually wonder about the execution because it is likely to be screwed over in execution at some point. And already seeing like a little tweet that I saw from the series composition guy, I am cautiously optimistic. But it's likely that, given what happened with Charlotte, like Charlotte I don't think was a particularly strong one. I do think we have to keep an eye out for possibly some rushing happening at the end here. But that's just based on that one little tweet that Master Gray showed me. But yeah, so to talk about The Day I Became God, I already have a lot of interesting notes about it because there are some interesting things going on with it. I do want to talk mostly about episode 3 for this video because it's the most recent episode. But when it comes to episode 1 and 2, I can just tell you like my general feelings for episode 1 and 2. For episode 1, I felt like it was a really solid first episode, and in that episode, the name of the game for me was really trying to figure out whether or not Odin was actually a legitimate god. And when you look at episode 1, there's some pretty interesting stuff. You know, when you go into episode 2 and 3, especially with 3, you can definitely tell that Odin knows what she's talking about. But episode 1 had a really interesting sequence of events where the things like the romance didn't really pan out for our main character, and we also had the thing about the whole striking out at baseball. Odin at one point, you know, in that first episode when you're looking for a reason that Odin may not be a god, and I forget her actual Japanese name, I'm sure it's like Hana or something, whatever, we'll call her Odin because this is the one I can remember her by. When you're looking at that first one, she had said that had he been able to hit the 5th ball, everything would have worked out well, but then the 5th ball never came. So that was a really interesting scenario because that was the first time that we could actually say that there was something wrong here. And when you look at that whole scenario there, you know, what happened with her, it seemed like she didn't acknowledge the fact that baseball is 3 strikes and you're out. That was the weirdest thing about it, in all honesty. What it was saying was that if this ball ever showed up, the kid would have been able to hit it. That's how I interpreted it. But that was a really funny event, and I thought that the rest of the episodes would give us more events like that. But then you went into episode 2, and episode 2 was significantly different. It showed off more of the family. It was funnier. There was a lot of cool parodies going on. Little Sister was hilarious. But episode 2 immediately made me a lot more concerned, and it was partly because of we also got to see the opening in episode 2. But then I'm just thinking, okay, is this going to be an anime about making movies in the summer? Like, what are we doing? In episode 2, you go all over the place. You have movies happening. You have all these different genres and parodies happening. You have the father being a pretty funny force, in all honesty. Episode 2 was an episode that made me very concerned for an anime original production, in the sense that it felt like there was too much happening. And again, when you look at the opening and you see that it does seem like making movies is a significant part of the opening. Definitely got concerned. Episode 2, though, we also saw Odin do more in regards to her predictions, and when she legitimately gets music from somewhere else, it's like, well, this is weird. Like this does add more legitimacy to this girl being a god. Like, because in episode 1, that little quirk with the way the baseball game came in, it made you feel like there was some kind of rules, like this wasn't perfect. Odin said bad luck still happened, so there was some kind of still interference. But then you go into episode 3, where Odin's predictions are just executed perfectly. Even the whole thing with where the kid had to step during the little fight, that was the most extreme thing we got so far. And it was just really impressive. So by episode 3, it's like, well, very clearly this person definitely knows what's going on in the future, and of course that adds credence to the idea that the world is going to end. But episode 3 was mostly a funny episode. Like, this whole plot line with saving this restaurant only goes to show that Odin is very good. And in episode 3, we continue the idea that these people are going to be making movies, because they were doing that whole thing with the advertisement, which I thought was hilarious. I think the main character was hilarious. I think it is legitimately funny. I cannot wait to see how this is going to become heartbreaking. It was a really fun episode, and it was really energetic. I love the whole thing about it. I love this guy's... Man, the whole sequence with his advertisement was just hilarious. And it's just great to see that it actually worked. Although, little things like beating up the Yakuza person or the loan shark. Little things like that concern me. But if Odin says it's going to be okay, unless there's like a really bad end coming here, I think it should be fine. But episode 3 is also where, after you've confirmed so much about Odin, you get a shot of this guy, the master hacker. And... this is where things get interesting, because now it's like, oh shit, like the government's getting involved. In what sense is the government getting involved? And really, when you look at it, he's not even after Odin. And it's not until you end up looking at the very end of the episode that some kind of connection to Odin is even created in the first place. And so at that point, I want to kind of just put this out there. Check this out. So this is one of the images here, and this is the images that pop up when the guys are talking about, what's this guy's name? Let me see if I can find this. When they're looking for that genius, his name is... man, I don't know. I've kind of lost... I'm not sure if we can actually spot him here. Oh, Shuichiro Korogi. So we have that name there. I don't think that I recognize that name. I don't think anyone else has this name, but I might be misremembering. But one thing that linked him to Odin immediately is on this second screen. When you look right here, look what that says, Fenrir Institute. So already, that's massive red flags, because Fenrir is from the same culture that Odin is from in terms of the names. And I'm pretty sure I know what Fenrir is, because it pops up so often in anime. But let me just very quickly just look it up on the internet just to make sure that we get what Fenrir is. So Fenrir is referred to... okay, I got it on another computer. Fenrir, a monstrous wolf in Norse mythology. I thought he would eat gods. Oh, it's a child of Loki. Okay, let's see what else we got. I thought the purpose of Fenrir was to eat gods. I'm pretty sure that's what High School DxD used it for. Okay, origins. Is foretold to kill the god Odin during the events of Ragnarok. So that's pretty scary, right? The world is ending. There is a man working in an institute called the Fenrir Institute. Yeah, no. Biggest thing here that we really take away is that, we have an anime where the world is ending. There's somewhere called Fenrir, and there's a person called Odin. So that's pretty concerning right there. But what's interesting is that because the genius is the one that's... well, he's representing this place called Fenrir. It kind of says that the genius right now might be the one who's the danger, whereas this other group here, they're investigating the genius. Also, there's some weird stuff going on in this guy's screen. You see age 65, born 1953, then you see 2009, age 55. My question is, why are they marking his age at different points in the year? And that's kind of ridiculous. Like, what's the point of that? What's the point of saying in 2009 he was age 55? And we know it's him, because if you add 55 to 53, you end up with 50. Well, you end up with a new century and 58, which probably, you do some slipping of the months and you get 55. Yeah, no. So episode 3 solidifies what episode 2 started with, just this whole situation. It's much more entertaining. Well, actually, episode 2 is also very entertaining with all the parodies. But you have this situation unfolding, then you have the rest of the overarching plot here. I'm very curious as what's going to happen. This scientist is also linked to quantum mechanics and all that. So that also makes me wonder, like, okay, quantum mechanics, if Odin is just flat out seeing possibilities, if she's seeing different world lines, that makes sense within the realm of quantum mechanics, I think, right? I think we can make it make sense in terms of animeisms. So, you know, right now, what I'm thinking is this institute, without a doubt, is connected to Odin because it's going to be the institute that kills her, at least by the namesake. There's talk of quantum mechanics going on in the background, and Odin is seeing the future. Who knows? Who knows where we go? Also, I wanted to say in the first episode, Odin was sitting on this chair that looks very reminiscent of an actor's chair, or, you know, like where an actor sits. So it just really does make you feel that we are doing very much so a lot of, well, movies are going to be a big part here. Also, I enjoyed that episode 3 was the episode that we spent without Iza and Nami. That was pretty cool. Anyway, overall, I think this is a cool anime. I'm very excited to see more of it. I'm just so curious as to how this is going to go down. But I am cautiously optimistic just because of the way that they shove content into the episode and because of how high energy it is. When you consider it, at the end of the day, you have episode 3 is just another testament to Odin's abilities. But beyond that, you end up getting a plot that right now is unconnected to the main characters. Episode 2 would have been fine enough to be the testament to Odin's abilities because episode 2 doesn't have any room for doubt, really. So if we spend more time doing random slice of life stuff while serious things are happening in the background, you know, I could see us in a situation where we're rushing in the end because the showrunners have lost time to cover everything they wanted to cover. But again, on the entertainment value is totally fine. I would actually be very fine to just keep doing Odin shenanigans for the rest of the anime without ever touching a more serious plot. But when you have the world ending in the background, it's like, well, this is going to be pretty horrible. But what I really just ultimately feel like the entertainment value on the slice of life stuff is good enough that I feel like you can make a slice of life manga that goes for like over 100 chapters of just Odin antics. Remove the stipulation that the world's ending and it's Odin antics all the way. That's a Shonen Jump manga right there. One day a girl said she's God showed up in my house. That right there. That is A-grade manga material. Anyway, everyone, let me know what you thought down below. And until next time, I hope you have an absolutely great day.